Joining us now is Ojinika Oji Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinix.
Good morning, Dr. Bati. How are you this morning?
Good morning.
Perfect. Good morning, Rufai. How are you this morning?
Giza.
Yes, Giza in Egypt. I've had too many comments from that trip. How are you? All right. Well, let's begin what's trending with Nigeria's president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who, while addressing groups of investors at the 10th German-Nigerian Business Forum in Berlin on Tuesday, said he deserves recognition from the Guinness World Records for the economic reforms he has introduced since assuming office on May 29th. The president recalled his time as a corporate player, adding that his experience from the private sector has equipped him with the tools to tackle economic challenges assailing Nigeria. Well, let's take a quick listen before we come back for a discussion.
I can brag, beat my chest, that Lagos is on the horizon. It is the fifth largest economy in Africa, from zero. Look, that's a track record that I can use to assure you. And that's the track record that got me into this office as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Nigeria voted for me for reforms. And from day one of my inauguration, I started the reform. Day one. To me, if you didn't mention me in the Guinness Book of Records, I will try to find a way to insert myself. Because I did it without expectation.
Well, I enjoy the president's sense of humor, Rufai. Mo gbadu egan. You know, I speak Yoruba now. But I mean, obviously, Nigerians are not laughing. You know, some people are very upset, obviously. Let me take Somto's tweet. Tinubu's first mistake was at his swearing in when he declared that subsidy is removed on that podium. I thought that was performative without due diligence. He created problems for everyone because he was trying to impress Guinness Book of World Records. Rufai, I know you can't wait to talk. Just go ahead.
I can't say something about this. Yeah. So a couple of things. I think he was just joking when he was talking about Guinness Book of World Record. But let me tell you, those that really deserve to be on Guinness Book of World Record are the suffering Nigerian people. Because this level of suffering has never been this same. This suffering Nigerians are going through deserves to be in the Guinness Book of World Record. It's unprecedented. And it's caused largely by President Tinubu's policy that he claims should put him in Guinness Book of World Records.
At first day,
he himself came out to confirm to us that his advisor said he shouldn't remove subsidy. There should not allow subsidy going in the speech, but he went ahead and he shocked them. You see, when you pass a policy, that's not funny. That will hurt the people so much like it's hurting us. You know what happened the next day after I said subsidy gone? There was a scarcity. Even the NMPC did not know what was going on. And the prices jacked up, and Nigerian life never remained the same since then. Also, the policy on the forex. You can see where we are. We argued. You remember Rotus and I having our arguments. And I understand, you know, the market forces. They were saying, oh yeah, so that investors will come. Where are the investors today? Where are the investors today, I ask? My argument then, and I will still argue now, is that you can't float where you don't have productivity in a highly dollarized economy and you don't have a means of making dollars. I hate to say, but time has proven me right. Look at where we are today, over 1,000. Look at the sad reality, look at the suffering, vis-a-vis the high level of inflation. Somebody on the New Telegraph this morning was saying that we have unprecedented levels of hardship. I think Abdullahi. It's never been this bad.
Right.
Never been this bad.
Right.
Inflation numbers over 15-year high. It's a sad one for Nigeria, and I think he needs to think of how to get us out of this quagmire. So those that ought to be on the Guinness Book of World Record for suffering that is leading to Japa are the Nigerian people.
Well, we hope it's not doomsday, Dr. Bati.
It's not
before
doomsday.
you go. Some of his reforms have been good. I'll take the story, then you discuss both. In the same vein, Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, on Wednesday launched Market Moni 2.0 to target 1.5 million women across 109 markets in 109 senatorial districts across Nigeria. During the launch in Abuja, Remi Tinubu said the administration of her husband, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is now poised to assist micro, small, and medium enterprises, and that the goal of the Market Moni initiative is to promote the development of locally established businesses and petty traders across the country.
The transformative impact that micro, small, and medium enterprises can have on the lives of the vulnerable ones in our society cannot be overemphasized. By supporting micro, small, and medium enterprises, we empower local entrepreneurs to generate employment, thereby offering a lifeline to those struggling to make ends meet. It is in this regard the rebranding of the three components of the program is significant. Thus, trader money is not trader money, that's English. Trader money, is that not what we call our money? Trader money, now rebranded Owoja. Olilanya Undi na Bamboo. You see, they left me to do this, so you have to give me support. I've been practicing, and I think time was not enough for me. I just came back from Sierra Leone. Talafin, Sana, Juma, I think I did well. Farmer Money is the second one, now rebranded Okpe. Olilanya Undi Orumbu. Otalafi Mamoma. And Market Moni, now rebranded Yaloja. Ineahia and Agajinya Kasua.
All right, she tried to. I love that they rebranded this Market Moni in all big languages, Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo. But I mean, this Market Moni is not new, Dr. Abati. It was launched during the President Muhammadu Buhari administration. Now, where do we go from here?
Okay, first let me comment on President Tinubu saying he wants to make Guinness
World Records.
Book of World Records. Well, he was making a sales speech. He was speaking at the German-Nigerian Business Forum. So he was talking to investors. So it was just a sales speech. To the extent that he was trying to build confidence in the investors, that he has done so much in terms of reforms since he assumed office, given his background in Deloitte, ExxonMobil, and 8 years as governor of Lagos State, which he moved from zero to something to become the 5th largest economy. So in other words, he was telling them, with me in the saddle, your investment is safe in Nigeria. And you know what I'm doing is to create a better environment. So it's just a safe speech. I'm sure the president himself knows that there is no category for being president under Guinness World Records. It's not one of the categories. And it's not, and the criteria even will not make a leader of a country qualify, because what you are claiming must be measurable. And objectively, it must be measurable objectively. And to the record must be breakable. It must be possible for someone else to break it. But for President Tinubu, it's just 6-7 months yet in the saddle. The thing is for him to follow through on those commitments and, in fact, come up with those reforms that will be to the benefit of the Nigerian people. And we do not pray that the Nigerian people should make Guinness World Record for suffering, because it means we are praying that another set of nationals should suffer more than Nigerians if we follow the criteria by the Guinness Book of Records. As for trader money, farmer money, market money, it's a relaunch. It's not as if it's a new thing. They have this National Social Investment Program, which the Tinubu administration inherited. So what they're trying to do, to the best of my knowledge, is to review it and to make it more effective. However, I hope lessons will be learned from what happened under the Buhari administration. You know that this social investment program was very controversial.
Yes, it was.
At the time. People were asking, who are the people collecting this money? We understand the whole point about empowering people, about empowering MSMEs, about creating jobs. But can we be more transparent and accountable going about it? And the minister there, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, one of the things our office has been trying to do is to review the National Social Register and to make sure that that register is representative enough and that it actually covers the indigent and vulnerable people of Nigeria who need to be empowered. So I hope they will proceed from the point of view of lessons learned.
Absolutely.
Have we learned the right lessons? Will it be better this time around? And it must not be a partisan program, as we found out under the previous administration, when it looked as if it was only APC people benefiting from it. No, the program, whether it's market money or farmer money or trader money, must be for the benefit of all Nigerians.
Absolutely. Well, you know, the story is coming as the federal government unveiled a roadmap to drive economic development and boost the country's gross domestic product by $100 billion through the creative sector. The Minister of Art, Culture and Creative Economy, Hannatu Musanwa, made the announcement on Tuesday at the Made in Creative Economy Roundtable in Abuja, stating that Nigeria needs to showcase its creators and culture to the world, and that with the launch of the roadmap, the creative sector could contribute as much as 10% to Nigeria's GDP.
We have developed an extremely robust economic plan aimed at creating millions and millions of jobs, supported by comprehensive skills training programs. Our objective is to contribute 10% of the nation's GDP, expanding the sectorial GDP to a remarkable 100 billion by the year 2030.
Rufai, you take the other stories, but Dr. Bati, because this is your constituency, what would I say? I mean, the creative sector is a huge sector. Yesterday, I moderated a roundtable, a fireside chat, where we talked about impending effect of piracy on the creative sector. And, you know, I think that is another area that the federal government should look at, because piracy at this point is a big problem for entertainers.
Well, it's one of the things listed by Minister Hannatu Musanwa yesterday when she unveiled the plan. And that comes under the rubric of intellectual property rights. So it's one of the things they're going to look at. They're going to look, according to her, at regulation, at the framework for the creative industry. They're going to look at economic plan, private sector engagement, which I was going to ask Faiz Imam, who came to speak on the subject a few minutes ago. And it's all titled Destination 2030, Nigeria Everywhere. We have had such slogans in the past, okay? Good country, great people, and all of that. But this should not be about slogan. The starting point, in my view, will have to be with the cultural policy. We have some guidelines. Those guidelines, the community, the stakeholder community, has been asking for years, for decades, since I was a graduate student studying cultural administration at one level. We've been asking for a definite cultural policy in this country, which will guide people who manage culture. The creative economy, yes, can contribute up to 10%.
Absolutely.
You know, or even more to GDP. When I said 2.5% earlier on, I was quoting National Bureau of Statistics figure for Q3 2023. And there are other countries that have made use of the creative sector. Tourism. You were in Egypt. That was the creative sector.
Absolutely.
You know, all those pyramids, all those museums, and all of that. But more importantly, beyond policy, two, the private sector has to be engaged. The private sector in that space is not doing too well. Look at all the people doing hotels, running hotels, people involved in tourism. They need an enabling condition. They need to be supported by government so that, you know, even the hospitality industry can fare better. But more importantly, input of stakeholders.
Absolutely.
And number four, the people who are in charge of culture, creative economy in this country, they should see it beyond entertainment. It's not entertainment.
Yeah, that's what they said as well.
It's a broad scope.
Yeah.
It's a broad scope, and you have to continually engage the private sector, engage, the stakeholders within the industry and come up with a definite policy which can be sustained for the purpose of sustainability. Because what we have seen is that when a particular government comes, shows interest in the cultural sector, when it leaves, another one may come that may not be interested. Port Harcourt used to be the World Book capital of the world.
Absolutely.
Book festival capital of the world under Rotimi Amechi. After he left, the project collapsed. So we have to sustain it. We have to have the political will.
Absolutely. All right, then we'll take another story. The governor of Zamfara State, Dauda Lawal, on Wednesday earmarked 4.3 billion naira contract for the renovation of 245 schools in 14 local government areas of the state. Well, during the presentation of award letters for the school construction and renovation, the governor expressed his commitment at completely revamping the education sector in the state. The project also involves the renovation of wash facilities, school fencing, and the provision of over 9,000 two-seater desks for all students. I mean, Rufai, I love this story. This story gladdens my heart. We must see more state governors doing this. 4.3 billion, I must applaud him. Well, over in Osun State, though, Governor Ademola Adeleke has come under fire after reports from the state's records revealed that 2 billion naira has been spent on meals and welfare packages in 3 months. According to the state's third quarter budget performance report, more than 6 billion naira was spent on the office of the governor alone. The amount is reported to be different from the 209 million naira spent on his personal expenditure. The State House of Assembly also spent over 800 million naira within the same period. The report also revealed that another 400 million naira was used for publicity and advertisement. This is unheard of. We need to hear from Governor Adeleke. This story is about 2 days old now. Yeah. We just need to hear this. But in the United States, though, let me take this one. A 2018 video of former First Lady Michelle Obama's interview with billionaire talk show host Oprah Winfrey, where she revealed what it was like to live in the White House, has resurfaced online. The interview was held during the first stop of her book tour, Becoming, in Chicago. Obama said she wrote the book because she wanted to share the full picture of her life. Well, in this short clip, she described life in the White House as living in the fanciest hotel, where she and her family had to pay for everything, including fish and peanuts.
They tell you can order anything, and they listen very carefully because everybody listens to every word that the president says. And I used to tell Barack, don't say you want something, because then we'll have like thousands of it, and then we're paying for it. So if
it was a shock.
If he said he liked some rare fish, he just happened to say, this is delicious. And then we get the bill at the end of the month, and it's like, you flew that fish in from China? It's like, that fish wasn't that good.
Listen, everybody,
don't say you like that fish.
Everybody's just getting the book today, so I can see the surprise on people's faces when you hear her say that they had to pay for it.
Yeah, a lot of people think, and this is also was sort of an interesting thing when people would say that taxpayers are paying for that. And the truth is, yes, you don't pay rent and you don't pay for staff, but everything, every dish, they would count the number of peanuts that you'd eat and charge it back.
No.
So you'd get a bill at the end of it. It's not aw, we live in a White House, y'all. This is not a complaint. It's just something that people don't understand.
Well, I thought it was important to highlight this video to juxtapose that story.
It just speaks volumes about why Africa is where it is today. Just like we had in Abia State, Governor Oti, we are still expecting him to make a well-rounded, explanation as regards
better explanation.
Money. Governor Adeleke to 2 billion on food, and you're wondering what's happening. But kudos to the Zamfara governor for spending that kind of money on education. That's what we want to hear. But I'm not surprised. America's GDP is about 20 trillion. Nigeria's GDP is 300-something billion. It's the country that you see that makes least in terms of economic provision for its citizens, and that is least economic empowered. That's where they fritter away cash. A country that has a bigger economy, over 20 trillion, You can see the moderation in its presidency and all of that. Let me also top it for you. Oji, there's been a bone of contention about number 24 Sussex Street in Canada, in Ontario, Canada, which is supposed to be the home of the Prime Minister. They've not been able to fix that hole because they have a contention of $40 million. But any Canadian Prime Minister that comes in knows that if he tries to spend that extravagant amount, the Canadian people will shout.
Absolutely.
So our leaders need to explain more, and they should stop all these things they do and do more for the citizens. You are there to serve the people. Cut away this food.
Absolutely.
There's nothing
Absolutely. Well, I wish we had more time on what's trending. I'd like to thank you both for your great analysis on what's trending. Well, that's all I have for you on what's trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.